Yes, sir.
Okay, so Jobita and Madhya are all there only. Where are the students? They will join late. Hmm? This has become adat. Okay, let's start. So what I'm going to discuss here is today is heredity means transmissions of characters from parents to offspring. Okay. So what is heredity? Heredity is just transmissions of characters from parents to heredity in evolution chapter we are going to start in today. And this chapter is very important not for the means just for understanding that how characters are being transferred on what which type of characters are being transferred, which type of disease are being transferred, or means that factor that make us this chapter is going to help us to understand betterly that which type of traits are being transferred and which are not transferred, which is dominant trait, which is not dominant traits. If a person or we can say that if in human beings, okay, they are daughters means a couple is going to have daughters only, okay, and so we can simply say that who is going to responsible means who is responsible for this one and who is not, and why there is a 50-50% chances of getting a girl and a boy, okay, and why females are not responsible for determining the sex of a child, okay, whether a baby girl means the child that is going or the kid that is going to born will be a male or a female. The females are not responsible for this one, and why they are not responsible we are just going to study in this one. Okay, we are just going to study that what are dominant traits, what are inherited traits, and how does heredity and variations help us, how does heredity and variations help us in understanding, or we can say that how does heredity and variations help us uh, in determining the changes, or which change is suitable for us and which change is not suitable for us, and how it help in evolution. So we're going to discuss this one. So let's start this chapter. Okay, so what is heredity? First of all, if I talk about that, what is heredity? So heredity is transmissions of characters from parents to offspring. What is heredity? Heredity is transmissions of character from parents to offspring. Okay, transmissions of character from parents to offspring means if something is being transferred from parents to offspring, that is called heredity. Okay, means for example, if a boy is going to have the height same as his father, and the color is going to have same as his her mother or his mother, so he's going to have the same curly hairs as her mother or father is going to have. So this is that what we are getting from our parents. Okay, so this is called heredity. Heredity means transmissions of character from parents to offspring. Okay, and what type of characters are not being transferred from parents to offspring, let me talk about that. Those changes or those character that a person is going to have when he or she is going to get birth means after the birth. For example, if there is a person who is uh, if I talk about that, if there is a person and that person start doing weightlifting and he got a good body muscles, okay, but it does not mean that it is being transferred. I mean, this change in his body is being transferred into his kids. If a person do weight means if he is doing work means if he continuously doing hard work, okay, and due to that hard work, okay, due to this that continuous hard work, if okay, if he is getting something in or some experience in his life, okay, if he is getting some experience in his life, then this experience will not be transferred. Okay, this experience will not be transferred from one generation to another generations. Okay, and why it is not transferred, we're going to discuss this one. Let's start studying what is heredity. Heredity is transmissions of characters from parents to offspring. Understood? Note it down. And what is genetics? What is genetic? Genetic is the branch of science that deals with the study of heredity and variations. Means genetics is a branch of science that deals with the study of how the transmissions, how the characters are being transferred, and which factors are responsible for the transmissions of these. So we separate this branch. Okay, for example, if there is slowly some changes are being there, okay, and some evolution is being taking place, so we called it we deals the branch of science that we'll going to study in this one is genetics. We called it genetics. So genetics is the branch of science that deal with the study of heredity and variation. Okay, so note it down. Please to note it down fast. Note it. Done.
Done.
And what is variation? Okay, so what is variation? Variation is simply, we can say that variation is changes among the individuals. What are the change? Mean that, for example, I am individually different from any living organism on the earth. Okay, I'm not similar. No exact copy of mine will be there, because I'm going to have 50% chromosome from my parents, from my both parents, or male or female parents. Okay, so no one is going to have the same or exact copy of me, because 50% of the characteristics is of my mother, and 50% characteristic is from my uh, father. And why we are not, means okay, my parents is similar to my siblings. Okay, means my sibling and me are going to have the same parents, but it's still, why my brother is not exactly same to that of me. Our parents are same, we both are going to have the 50% characteristics of both the parents, but why we are different? Because every time the DNA is being copied, there is some changes take place. There is some changes, and there is dominancy of some characters. For example, if I am going to have the height of my brother, sorry, of my father, then my brother can have the height that of my mother. Okay, if I am going to have the blood group of my father, my brother can have the blood group of my mother. So because there is, the characters are both the character, we are going to have the characters from both the parents, but this is not necessary that every time the father's characters are dominant over the mother characters. Means, for example, if the father is tall, then it does not mean that if father, means the person who is tall is always going to have the height of the kids as same as that of he or him. No, the it's not necessary. It can have, the kids can have the heights of the mother also. So it is not necessary. The health, means the factor can be any factor can be dominant. So what is variation I'm talking about is the difference among the individual that make them different from each other. Understood? Understood? So what is variation? Variation among the individual that make them different from each other. You noted? Okay, everybody noted in the class? Okay, let's move further. Now, okay, so what I'm saying here is that the variation is something that is being transferred from one, means the differences that we are going to have among the individuals. Okay, like my nose, the color of my skin. Okay, so that is due to DNA copying, the changes that we are going to have, that is making us identically different from others person, that is called variations. And this is variation is very important for the survival advantage, and how it provides survival advantage, we're going to discuss this one. Okay, so next point is somatic variations. Their variations are of two types. One is the somatic variation, another one is the germinal variations. Okay, what kind of variations do we have? Tell me. Tell me.
Somatic variation and germinal variation.
Somatic and germinal variations. Okay. So wait a minute. Let some other students. Okay. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. So what I'm talking about here is somatic variation. So what is somatic variations? Somatic variation is the variations uh, that uh, that is done, or that is the change. We can simply say that those variations that are going to take place in the somatic cells of the organism. For example, if I talk about that, there are the two types of cells in our body. One is the gamete cells or the germ cells. Okay, germ cells, and the somatic cells. Somatic cells. Okay, so somatic cells are like that are going to have 46 chromosome total, and they don't participate in the process of reproductions. Okay, like the cardiac cells, like the muscle cells, like the nerve cells, neurons, kidney cells. Okay, they are not going to participate in the process of reproductions. Okay, but if I'm talking about the germ cells participate in the process of reproductions. Okay, got it. For example, just I'm going to give you an example that if I'm going to participate in something, for example, if I'm in a team India, okay, I'm just playing for a cricket match, okay, and if I'm not means if I'm just participating in the match, if I got means the match, if I didn't win the match, then I will be responsible for this one, na? Okay, but if I'm not playing, I'm not in the team, so how can I be responsible for you understood what I'm saying? If I'm losing any match, so how can I be responsible for this one? Okay, because I'm not in the team. So similarly, if there is a variation that is taking place, okay, if there is a variation that is taking place in the somatic cells, then we can simply say that these variations are not transferable from one generation to another generations. Okay, these variations are not transferable from one generation to another generations. But if since germ cells participate in the process of uh, reproduction, if the variations takes place in this type of cells, then this is transferable from one generation to another generation. You understood?
Yes,
Everybody in
sir.
the class? Uh, okay. So germ cells means, for example, if I'm having a rat, okay, rat, and if I keep on cutting its tail, if I'm having a rat and I'm cutting its tail, okay, and then that rat reproduce, and we are going to have the rat which is going to have tail, okay, and then again I cut the tail of this second generation, then again it is going to give birth, and I just keep on cutting the tails of each and every generations. Okay, so do you think that after the 20th generation, will there be rats, some rats that is going to have no tails, or a less, or the length of the tails reduces? Do you think so? No, means there will be no tails. Tell me. Tell me, everybody in the class,
Yes, sir.
will there be tails or not? Jovita?
Sir, can you please tell the question once more?
I'm asking that if there is suppose tails, okay? If I'm having a rat that is going to have tail, and if I cut the tail and that rat reproduce, okay, then the reproduced rat is going to have tail. Okay, then again I just cut the tail of that one also, and just I just keep on doing this one for 20th generation. So will the rat is going to have the 20th generation rat is going to have tail of a smaller length, or the same exactly same length, or with no tail? Tell me.
Smallest.
Smaller, you think that a smaller tail will be there? No, because we are tail is the somatic cells. Do the tail cells participate in the process of reproduction? No.
No.
No, na. So
No.
it does not means that a person who is whose means whose somatic cells are being affected due to some any reasons, maybe due to some disasters, or maybe due to some accident or something, if we are not, because somatic cells do not participate in the process of reproduction, so we will simply say here that the somatic cells, if any kinds of changes is taking place in the somatic cells, that is not being transferred from one generation to another generations. Okay, only the germ cell participate in the process of reproduction. So if there is a change taking place inside the germ cell, then it is being transferred. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's move further. Okay, so here we need to understood that somatic variations, so note it down, due to change in the somatic cells. Okay, and the germinal variations due to change in the reproductive cells, means gamete cells, it occurs due to change in DNA copying. Okay, because every time the DNA is being copied, and we are going to have two or more DNA, two or different types of DNA. So please note it down fast. So done? Noted?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's move further. Next is the type of trait that we're going to have, the inherited traits and the acquired traits. Inherited traits and the acquired traits. Okay. The same thing that we are going to have. What are traits? First of all, let me explain you what are traits. So, what are traits? Traits are the changes that we see among the individuals. For example, if I'm having means if I'm seeing a person which is going to have height, okay. So if I'm seeing a person which is going to have 6 feet height, okay, another person which is going to have 4.5 feet height. So this height difference is just a trait. A person with
Good
fair
evening,
color,
sir. Sir,
yeah,
I'm
very
Ridwan.
good.
Can I change my name?
It's okay.
Okay, sir.
Violet.
Sir, I don't know. My computer wasn't working, so I joined with my dad's laptop.
So what I'm saying here is that the traits is anything that you see among the individual. For example, height, color, shape of the body designs. Okay, for example, every human beings is going to have nose. Okay, one nose, two eyes. Okay, they are different from animals, other animals like lion. Okay, so we see the traits are the change that we see among the individuals. Okay, that we see, that we call them traits. Okay, for example, wrinkled seed, round seed, so they are the two traits. Okay, so if I'm considering that, if if I'm something character as a shape, so shape is a character, but it can have two traits. One is round shape, other one is wrinkled shape. Wrinkled shape. You understood? One is, tell me fast. Okay, you understood? Everybody?
Yes,
Jovita?
sir.
Okay, the
Yes,
round
sir.
is a, so round and wrinkles are the traits. What are these? These are the traits. You understood? So these are the traits. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir.
Now, moving to this one, next is so what are traits? So traits are similar. That's some traits you get from your parents, like the color of the skin, okay, like anything that you are getting from your parents, the height, okay, the same, almost same. Some features are similar, like you can be recognized that he's a kids of these parents, okay. So these characteristics that you are getting from your parents are considered to be as inherited traits. What we call them? Inherited traits, okay. And those traits that are not, you are not getting from your parent, but you are just building it after the birth. For example, weightlifting, similar, this is the same exactly same to the somatic variation, okay. Those variation or those changes or those traits that you are acquiring from after the birth. For example, a person got hurt in accident and he lose his hand, okay. So it doesn't mean that if he got married and he is going to have kids with one hand only. No, it is not so. Okay. So they're going to have the means, because this is a change in the somatic cells, not in the germ cells. The germ cell still had the coding of this hand, this body design. So we'll say that
Sir, what if the mother was born like that? So the what will happen to the child without a hand?
no, it will not born. No, it is due to this can be a mutation. This is sudden change in the DNA. Okay, but normally it does not happen. Okay, if a person got stuck, if a person is going to have any disease, like for example, if a person is going to have cancer and if he got birth, if got a kid, does not mean that it is going to have kids with cancer disease. No, it is not so, because these are not transferable from one generation to another generations. Okay, however, if if we just keep on going for a long generations, for keep on going for long generation, then we'll say that this may be transferable, because there can be a sudden simple change, or means thousands of generations are going to have the same characteristics, same cancerous disease, so it may affect a little bit that the other person, the generation, is going to have this permanent traits. But in general, it does not mean that if I'm start in one generation, if I'm having uh I start doing weightlifting and then build up good muscles. Okay, then does not mean that I'm going to have a kid, so I'm going to have the muscles. No, good muscles. No. Similarly, if I'm learning something in my lifetime, for example, if I'm teaching you right now, this is stored in my brain. Okay, So if it doesn't mean that if I'm just transferring, my kids are going to have the same information that my brain is going to have, because this all information that I'm teaching you right now is stored in my brain, and this I stored acquired after my birth, not before my birth. This is not acquired from my parents. Okay, so this means that if a person is going to be a doctor, does not mean that is going to be doctor. Okay, so this is the similar thing, that inherited traits means the trait that a person will acquire. Okay, understood? Inherited traits are those traits that a person is going to acquire after, or is present. Means these traits are present since childbirth. Okay, got it?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Got
sir.
it. Next is color of the skin, like color of the skin, eyes, hairs, morphology. So this we are going to have, means a person, means my father. I'm not exactly similar to my father, but I'm almost similar. That my father has two hands, I'm going to have two hands. Okay, my color of the skin, my height maybe from my mother's, because I'm going to have 50% characteristic for them. But these are inherited traits. But what I'm going to have acquired right now, those I have acquired after the childbirth, that's going to be okay. Now you understood those traits that are gained by a person after his birth. Okay, for example, loss of body organ in accident, experience gained during the lifetime. So please note it down, dear student. Please note it down. This one, note it down. Note this one also, that inherited traits are only transferable from one generation to another generation, and these are not, means they are not transferable from one generation. Acquired traits are not transferable from one generation to another generation. Note it fast. Done. Jobita, done. You with one,
Yes,
done. Other
yes.
students,
Done, sir.
other, everyone done. Should I move forward? Is there anyone still writing? Tell me. Ammar done. Madiha.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's move further. Next is, if I talk about that, what is gene? What is gene? Okay. So gene, chromosomes, and DNA. These are the things that are very important. Okay, let me explain you that what is gene, what is chromosomes, and what is DNA. First of all, this is a cell. Okay. And inside this cell is going to be a nucleus. And inside the nucleus, we have scattered form of DNA. Okay. Got it? The DNA is being scattered here. Okay. But during the time of cell division, this DNA get condensed. Sorry, this DNA, yeah, this DNA get condensed and form in a coiled structure. Okay, this get okay, and we called it chromosomes. Okay, so there are such 23 pairs, or we can say that during the times of cell division in human beings, we are going to have, for example, our RBC is going to divide. Okay, RBC don't have nucleus. Any cells except this RBC, like neuron does not divide. Okay, so next is muscle cells. Okay, so muscle cells is going to divide, so it is going to have 46 chromosomes. 23 pairs of chromosomes are going to, we can simply say here that this 23 pairs of chromosomes will be there. Okay, got it? So at the time of cell division, these chromosomes are appear, but it is condensed form of DNA. Okay, when you expand it, it will be DNA. Okay, now this DNA is going to have a helical structure like this, and it consists of coding. Okay, let me explain you. For example, for example, apple is also going to have chromosome. I am also going to have chromosomes. Okay. Monkey is also going to have chromosomes. Okay. So let me explain you. For example, this is a cell. Okay. This is a cell. When this group of cell, this is a cell. Okay. And when this group of cell join together, they form a tissue. And when tissue join together, they form an organ. They form an organ like the lungs, like the heart, like the brain. That I'm just making this one brain. Okay, this is brain. Or it form in lungs, respiratory system. Okay. Okay, and it form kidney. So this group of cells are going to have their different. So these are the organs. And then we have the organ system, and then we have the all human beings. Okay. So if I'm saying that kidney cells is going to filter the blood, okay, then this kidney cells need to do some work now. Everybody concentrate here. This is very important. Okay. That what is gene? You need to understand that what is gene. What is the role of gene? Actually, gene code for a protein. Gene code for a protein. Gene code for a protein. Okay. And means it code for a protein. Mean it is a software, like it code for a protein. And this protein is synthesized by ribosomes in the cells. And ribosomes help in the means, or we can say that these proteins means cells are made up of protein. Actually, cells contain different thing, but their membrane are made up of protein. Okay. So actually the structures are made up of proteins. Okay. So we can say that this gene code for protein. Got it? This gene and protein help in building and cells help in building the tissue, and tissue help in building the organs, and organs help in building the organ system, and organ systems help in building the an organism. Okay. So for example, if in the initial stages, if there is a wrong type of protein is being synthesized in our body, then a wrong cell will be produced. Different type of protein will be produced, and different type of protein will result in different types of cells, and different types of cell result in different types of tissue, then tissue organ, then the whole body design will be changed. So if I'm saying that we are just going to have chromosomes, and chromosomes consist of DNA or condensed form of DNA. Okay. So inside this DNA, there is a gene, and that gene codes for protein. That gene code for protein. Okay. And this coding is being transferred from one generation to another generation. For example, why I am going to have a kidney, why I'm going to have this similar body design. Okay. Because this coding I'm being copied from, or I copied this coding in my body, or in my the first cell, that is zygote. Okay. From my father and mother. So they are going to have copy in their DNA. So that copied is being transferred. So this copied information is in the form of gene. So what is, if I'm just getting something from my parents, that is called heredity, the transmission of character from parents to offspring. So this heredity, this change, or this appearance that I'm going to have right now, it is copied from my parents in the form of gene. Okay, understood? So I'm going to have gene of my parents, and these genes in the zygote, in the first cell, when mother and father's gamete fuses together, okay, this gene in the cell codes for a protein, and then this proteins make cells. Okay, or these cells make tissues, and tissues make organs, and organs make organ system, and then the whole organism. Are you getting my point? What is gene? Are you getting, Ridwan, Madiha?
Yes, sir.
So gene code for a protein. Got it? So note it down. What is gene? So note down. Gene is a functional unit of heredity. Means like it is the main thing that is being transferred. I got gene from my parents. Okay. And that gene result in the formation of a cell, which we call zygote, and zygote further divides produce protein, different types of protein, and that different type of protein code is stored in DNA in the form of gene. Okay, like it is a software. Okay, got it? For example,
Yes, sir.
if I'm having a machine, and in that machine I'm having everything, means every ingredients of pizza, burger, okay, and some other stuffs, foods. So if I code it, if I command it to produce a pizza, so it will use that ingredients only and will start producing that one. So similarly, that is the software that we have installed in it. So similarly, if I'm getting anything in me, or the zygote start doing, means why the zygote start doing and make kidney, make two hands like this, and don't make means we are not going to have, we are not similar to the other animals, okay, like cheetah, like tiger, okay. So why? Because I got the gene, the information to produce a specific type of protein in the zygote, and that zygote start producing a special type of protein. That protein produce cells, different types of cells, and these keep on dividing and form the tissue, and that tissue form the organs, and then organs start. So this is a vast information that the gene is going to have. So note it down. Gene is a functional unit of heredity present in chromosomes of the cell nucleus. It is composed of DNA and code for one type of protein. Note it down. Note it down, everybody in the class. Done?
Done, sir.
Other students?
Done.
Okay. Just wait a minute. I'm coming back. Is someone? So now you understood what is gene. Have you noted, everybody? Have you
Yes, sir.
noted? Okay, let's move further. Is my voice is breaking, or is it clear?
So it's clear.
Okay. Okay, next is mutation. What is mutation? What is mutations? Tell me. What is mutation? Mutation is something that you know that we are getting, means we are just going to get the variations. Why we are getting variations? Why we are getting variations?
We
Because
get for different to adapt environment.
we
The
are getting
environment.
variation due to DNA copying. Every time the DNA
Yes.
is being copied, okay, environmental variations are not transferable from one generation to another generation. This is being transferred from only me. For example, if I am living in Delhi right now and I'm having very bad quality of lungs right now because there's large amount of pollution here. But if I start living at the higher altitudes, for example, if I go to Manali or somewhere which is at higher altitude, or Ladakh, so there surely after 1 or 2 years I'm going to have broader lungs. My lungs will swell. They will be, means the lungs will be greater in size. Why? Because there is low oxygen level at higher altitudes, and due to that these lungs are not able to fulfill that requirement, okay, of oxygen. So it is being means these lungs, in order to fulfill the requirement of oxygens, they will start expelling out, okay, they will start expanding, okay. So those human beings that are living in the plain regions and those who are living at the higher altitudes, they are going to have broader lungs, okay. So it doesn't mean that my kid is going to have it means he will born with the same lungs, okay, which is broader. No, you understood? Why? Because these lungs are, I mean, the size of the lungs is being transferred, or it is being varied due to the environmental conditions, and it is not being transferred from one generation to another generations. Okay. For example, if there is a person who is getting malnutrition due to famine, okay, there is no food there, but due to that he start getting weaken on and continuously losing weight. So it does not mean that if he is getting becoming father, so his kids will be also very means they will be malnutrition. No, because these changes are in the somatic cell. These are not transferable from one generation to another generations. Okay, I'm getting I'm there is no person exactly same to me on this earth, on this planet, because every time the DNA is being copied, I am or make we say there is a variation in DNA. Even me and my brother have the same father and mothers, but we are not identical because of the DNA copying. Okay, still me and my brother is going to have the 50% characteristics of my mother and 50% characteristics of my father, but I'm not same. We are not same, identical. This is just because of DNA copying. Okay, got it? I got it.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Why the other persons are not responding? Amar, you understood?
Yes.
Okay, let's move further. So you need to keep in mind this one. So these are not transferable from one generation to another. What is mutation? Means DNA variation is due to change in DNA copying due to reproduction. Whenever their DNA is being copied, it results in some change. It is not exactly same to me. Okay, so that type of variation, that type of change is called variation, and it is very slow. It is not okay. But for example, if there is a person, okay, who get infected due to cancer or some other disease, or we can say that mutations means if he is going to have alteration in body design. For example, he is not having uh, means he is not having there are two persons are born with their joints heads, okay, with their two persons, two kids are born with their joint heads, or their body is joined. Okay, one person is born without legs. There are so many persons who are born in earth on the planet with they are not having legs since childbirth. Okay, so this is due to mutation. This is due to sudden change in DNA copying or DNA error. So and if a person is affected, or if a person is getting cancer, okay, are you getting? So if a person is getting cancer, so what does in the cancerous cells we are going to have? So this is due to change in DNA. For example, if the radiations can change the DNA, okay. For example, if somewhere atomic bomb is being placed, or okay, so this results due to change in DNA. Okay, these radiations may result in change in DNA, and this we don't call this variation. We call this mutation. We are the mutants. We are infected with the radiations, which are artificial means, which we have created. Okay, and if we are due to natural means, if for example is due to direct contact, if there is ozone layer is being removed and we are just uh, affected with the UV rays, then we got the cancers and we are infected. Okay, our DNA can be means molecular structure of DNA can be changed. So this is called mutation. So what is mutation? Mutation is genetic variations in organisms also occurs due to natural and artificial. Artificial means okay, also occur due to change. Sorry, variation also occurs due to natural and artificial. Artificial means due to change. Genetic variations also occurs due to natural and artificial in the molecular structure of DNA. Okay, variation means change. It is variation word is a genetic change. Okay, so variation itself means change. So if there is a change is taking place, not due to DNA copying, but due to some artificial means, and this result in the alteration of body design. If a person is not going to have hands by birth, okay, so this is called mutation. Okay, if a persons are born with polio, okay, polio is a viral disease, and means they are defected, they are not born with same as their parents are. So this is called mutations. Okay, understood?
Yes,
So
sir.
So this is sudden change in DNA. Mutation is sudden change in DNA. Variations take long years. So it takes long years. So it is slow and gradual change. It results in alteration in body designs and improper functions. Okay, and improper functions. But for example, if a person got cancer, so it means does not mean that his body start working in a very good manner. No, if there is change, there is change. If a persons are born with two head joint, does not mean they are brilliant. They are going to have two brains. No. So alteration in body design, which result in improper functioning, and this is very slow change occurs. Okay, means next one is don't provide survival advantage. It does not provide any survival advantage. We'll say that it help in providing survival advantage. Okay, so how does variation help in providing the survival advantage? How do can you tell me that how do can you explain me with this with an example? Please note it down first. Everybody note it down.
Yes.
Note it down first. Yes, done. Copied.
Done, sir.
Okay. So next one is, if I talk about the next one is, for example, if I talk about that, how does variation helps? So variation help us. For example, if there is an petals, we can explain that how does variation help in organism, or how does it help in providing the survival advantage. For example, there is a red beetles. Okay, and this DNA is here that code for the, that is a gene that code for the red color, but due to DNA copying, due to DNA error, or some due to reproductive, because every time DNA is not copied properly. So for example, if this, for however it changed to green color, okay, then it will results in giving the green beetles, because every gene, before every characters, we are going to have a separate gene. For every trait, we have the separate genes. For example, if I'm having color of skin, okay, color, the body design, these nose, the eyes, for everything, we are going to have a separate gene. Got it? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if this is born, and if this is born, okay, and it gives rise to, means 3 red and 1 green. It get birth and give birth to 4, and which is 3 is red and 1 is green. And similarly, it get give birth to 3 red and 3 more greens. Okay, so these greens are going to get the camouflage advantage. Okay, I mean, this green color is going to get the survival advantage, and this is going to help this beetle to survive. Why? Because they will get the camouflage advantage. I mean, this green color will help the beetle to hide itself from predators. It can hide itself from, and can hide it in the, we can simply say that it can hide itself in the grass. Okay, got it? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Understood? Understood? Okay. So let's talk about this one. So this keep on going, means if it is keep on growing, so green will population will increase for after some times, and red will vanish. So this is how the variation, the change that is suitable to the environment get survival advantage. Not every change, not every variation. For example, if instead of red color, green color, if it got the orange color, it will not get any benefit. So only those change that are suitable to the environment are transferable from one generation to another generation. Sorry, it help in the this generation. The change that is suitable to the environment is promoted. Okay, and that's why we say that it provides survival advantage. Okay, got it, everybody in the class? Got it? Next is,
Yes, sir.
now you know that last topic is that why do Mendel choose pea plant for his experiment? Mendel was the first one who studied the genetics and okay, who studied about the heredity, how the transmissions characters are being transferred from one generation to another generation. He studied that he gives several laws that for every trait there is a separate gene. For example, for the round color, it has a separate gene. For the wrinkled, it has a separate gene. Okay, for round shapes, wrinkled shape, color. Okay, we have separate genes. So genes means he actually studied he was the first one who studies the heredity, or he studied that how characters are being transferred. First of all, why do before starting that experiment, let me explain you that Mendel was a person who used to live in a monastery area, means that is provided by the government to those who are not having homes. And this in front of his home there is a garden where he used to grow pea plant for 8 years. For how many years? For 8 years. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now here, why do Mendel choose pea plant for his experiment? The reason is pea plant bear large number of seeds, which help in getting authentic conclusions. Okay, which help in getting authentic conclusions. Means it bigger large number of seeds. Large number of seed means that means because of large number of seeds. For example, if you are doing an experiment and if you take only one rating, so it may be not pop. Means you cannot decide that which it is better or not. For example, if a team played only one match, okay, and he got win, so it does not mean that this team is better. But if you means, for example, if a team played for 15 to 30 match, okay, then how many matches they are going to get, so you can decide that in 30 matches this team is going to win 25 matches and 5 matches it lose, so it is better. Okay, so this is the same thing, that if we have more number of seeds, so we can find that how many round shaped seeds are there, how many wrinkled seeds are there. So we are going to get the authentic conclusions. Next is pea plants have so many traits. Got it? Pea plants have so many traits like round seeds and wrinkled seeds. Okay, got it? Round seeds and wrinkled seeds. Dwarf, tall. Okay, so because of these traits, that means he which help him to study more deeply. Means if there is a plant which is not going to have so many traits, so he will not be able to study it deeply. So he studied. I mean, there are pea plant bear so large number of seeds, and because of that seeds, uh, it is able, or he is able to understood what I'm saying. He is able to get, means if there is no, means if this plant is only tall and dark, there is no other features. So we will simply say that since it is going to have so many traits, so which trait is transferable, which is not transferable. Okay, in how many plants this trait is dominant, how many plants this is not dominant. So this help him to study deeply. Moreover, pea plants have short lifespan, means a pea plant can grow in 2 or 3 months. Okay, so several generation can be studied in short span of time. But if there is some plant which take years on years to grow, so you cannot study this one. Okay, so several generations can be studied in short period of time because of short lifespan. Next is it bears bisexual flowers which help in cross pollinations, and it have large stamens. So due to bisexual, these can be easily cross pollinated, self pollinated. Sorry, it is bear bisexual flower which help in self pollination. Write down self pollination, self pollinations, and it has large stems which can be easily cut if you want to do the cross pollination, if you want to transfer the anthers of different plant over it, pollen grains of different plant. So in the initial stages, cut this stamen because it bears large stamen, so they can be easily cut with the scissors, and you can do the cross pollination. Okay, we have large stamen which can be easily cut and removed and help in cross pollination. So please note it down. Listen, note it down.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, should we write everything?
Yeah, you have to write each and everything. This is very important question. So have you noted this one, dear students? Have you noted, everybody in the class?
Writing.
Okay, note it down fast.